So I got my amazing bead box, got 3 patterns, 2 kits. Guess how many of these I made? None. But I did make a bunch of things using supplies from this box. And in today's video, I'm going to show you 3 ways to search for alternate patterns using the beads you have. Hi there, Sandy here. Welcome to another creative video at keepsakecrafts.net. So yeah, I got the January Potomac bead box themed sunrise sunset with lots of really pretty colors, as you can imagine from the name. But I wasn't feeling any of the kits or patterns that came in it. There was this bracelet with this kit, some really pretty beads, a crystal rivoli. I just didn't really love the design. And these are nice earrings, but I'm pretty sure they're not something I would wear. Now this one is the bonus pattern that doesn't come with a kit. And I actually saw someone in one of the forums made this with 3mm bugle beads instead of 6mm bugles. And I thought that was a great idea. But I don't have any 3mm bugles. But I did make several projects from the supplies in this box. So one of the additional stash beads from the box were these Zoliduos. I think they are just so cool. They're kind of just curved teardrops. They are 2-hole beads, and they actually come in left facing and right facing. So in this one, the teardrop curves in one direction, and then the back is flat, so they only go one way. But if you can picture, if you had the other side, it would go this way. So this leads me to my first tip for finding alternate patterns for your beads. So the first thing you can do that seems pretty obvious, but maybe you didn't realize that YouTube is an amazing search engine, and you can search right within YouTube. Just type in the name of the beads. It's nice if you have the name exactly as written, and then you can type it in. You'll notice a lot of these are from Potomac beads because they are very good at optimizing their videos for that. Another thing to look for are playlists. So this is a playlist that somebody else has put together, Zoliduo/Paisley beads. Seems like those just might be interchangeable in many patterns. So you can learn a lot just by doing a very simple YouTube search. As you scroll down the list, you'll see there are a lot of other channels sharing designs with Paisley duos or Paisley beads and Zoliduos. Another thing you can do is search within just one specific channel. So if you really like Potomac beads, you can just click on their title anywhere. Go to their channel page, and right next to the little magnifying glass, you can just search for what it is that you want. So Zoliduo. And when I do a search, I often leave off the plural. I'll type it in singular so that it doesn't limit the search for me. And you could see they have lots and lots of patterns. So after coming across that pattern, I made this, the Zoliduo Pendant. You can really see the pattern if you put it on something black. I did use some of the 4mm check faceted rounds that came in the earrings kit in this. And I didn't have the little O beads that they called for, so I subbed in spacers, just little daisy spacers. Don't be afraid to do that. Another one of the beads in the box that I really wanted to make something with are these sweet little flower cups. I just adore them. And that leads to the second way that you can find a pattern. Another thing you can do that will bring up a lot of the same patterns but may bring you different ones is to simply do a search for the type of bead, giving it the exact name that it's given in your favorite search engine. But the trick here is to click on images, and then you can visually scan all of the ideas. You'll see you'll get a lot of the same ones from Potomac beads, but there are a lot of others. And you can also see that there are some that, although it may be a flower, it's not what you're looking for. But you'll see different ones by different companies. And like that one, isn't that just a really unique design and interesting way of using one of these flower cup beads? Sometimes what you'll come to won't be a pattern, it'll just be a design like this one. This is by a company that sells the beads, but just by looking at the photo you can see that it's simply some bracelet chain with a lot of dangles made with the flower cups and other beads. That can give you ideas and inspiration. And here's my completed bracelet. I just love it. I used the cup button that came in the bracelet kit. I also used some of the 11O seed beads that came in either the earrings or the bracelet kit, I'm not sure which. Some round duos that came in a previous box, and I just had to add in some super duos and additional 11Os that were already in my stash. These really pretty 2-hole silky beads in a copper color lead me to another way you can search for patterns. This last type of search requires a little bit of organizing and pre-planning, but it's awesome because you can search within your own bead patterns. So if you collect magazines and patterns and clippings and ideas, you can have them all in Evernote. And I have just a whole folder here of beading patterns, and I can search in those for these silky beads and find the few patterns that I have that use them. It's fantastic. If you want to know more about using Evernote to organize patterns and your craft supplies and inspiration and ideas, I've done a whole YouTube video on that, which I will link to. And it will even, you can see it's highlighted the names that you put in the search terms. It will even search in my terrible handwriting. So that was how I came across this Deb Roberti pattern for using silky beads. It's a free one that I will be sure to put a link to online. Sometimes these searches will turn up paid patterns, which I think for all the work that it takes to design a pattern, it's not a bad thing to pay a designer every so often for one of their designs. And I made these earrings. I always learn a lot when I make a Deb Roberti pattern. Like she points out in the pattern, you can see it in the photo here, that you can use all sorts of 6mm 2-hole beads for these. You could use rounds, you could use 2-hole cabochons, you could use the hexagons, the honeycombs. And again, for these, I used some of the beads in the kits that were intended for other projects, the 11Os and these 3mm rounds. What's nice is that because the kit is themed, sunrise, sunset really is its color story. All of these colors go together really well, no matter how differently I may have combined them. So here's an overview of everything that came in the kits. The kit for the Polaris bracelet is the one that will come in the regular box, and in it you get the cup button, which I already used, the 14mm cushion, some tubelet beads. These are cute. They're kind of like fat bugle beads. Gemstone beads. These are 4mm round labradorite. Labradorite. I said that right. The 3mm check rounds that I used in the earrings. And some 11Os and 15Os. The Midas earrings kit and pattern is the one you get with the XL box. And in that you get some 4mm check faceted rounds, which I used in the Zoliduo Pendant. You get some of these sweet little 1.5 by 3mm faceted roundels. Bunch of these gorgeous drops. Some 11Os, 15Os. And also you get the findings, ear wires, wire guards, and even little stoppers, which I could have used on these earrings, but I thought gold went better. So that's just what's in the kits. Here are the rest of the items from the XL box. So some of these I already showed you. The flower cups, which I used in this bracelet, the Zoliduos in this pendant, and the silkies in these earrings. They also included a little polishing cloth, which is just nice. They've been including little tools and extras, which I think is a nice touch. The pie duos, which are basically a 2-hole bead, and they are quarter circles. Really fun to design with. 4mm check glass beads and cathedral cuts. 4 by 7mm roundels in this really pretty combination of colors. Some 8O seed beads in frosted ox blood, a nice background neutral. Some check rounds, 8mm. Then we have these, wow, what a lovely color. This is 6mm crystal helix beads. some darling little snowflake crystals. Throw a pinch bail on there and you are done. Earrings, charms. I might have squealed when I opened this. I just love those colors. This little moon. Again, pinch bail or whatever you want to do. Yummy colors. 7 by 12 millimeter leaf drops. Always nice just for dangling at the end of fringe. An 18 millimeter resin cabochon. Black Midnight. It makes me think of a planet. This would be really pretty to bezel in a piece of bead embroidery. And also 8 millimeter crystal disco balls. Really gorgeous. Be sure to check out the playlist over on the right. That will give you lots more ideas and ways of using beads that maybe you hadn't thought of before.